You ever wake up one morning thinking your biggest problem is what color mailbox to pick, and by sundown you're running a mini FBI sting on your own property? Yeah, that's how I found peace. Out in the middle of nowhere, with 4 acres of Texas dirt and enough history in law enforcement to make my therapist nervous. After 20 years working cybercrime with the Austin PD, burnout wasn't just a word, it was the smog I breathed. I cashed out, left a security startup I'd helped build, and made myself a promise, by freedom, by land, and never let another suit tell me what shade my mailbox should be. That's how I wound up staring at a steel gate, no neighbors in sight, just a gravel driveway twisting through old oaks, and a brick house built back in the 60s that wouldn't budge for a tornado. The crown jewel? My garage. 3 bays wired to the teeth, climate-controlled, backup generator, every inch rigged with sensors. My personal cathedral, where I built drones for private contracts and soldered more wires than a NASA tech. If anyone called it paranoid, well, habits die hard. The first few months out there, it felt like I was finally breathing. Then she showed up, sunglasses, clipboard, Range Rover gleaming in the sun, that polished HOA logo on the door. I spotted her through my old spotting scope, call it a hobby leftover from my surveillance days. She just stared, taking it all in like she was measuring me up for a suit I'd never ordered, and then she was gone. Didn't wave, didn't say a word. But you know the type. Planning, not visiting. Turns out, Karen Langley was her name. Queen of the Silver Bluff Preserve HOA, which to her was less a neighborhood and more a kingdom. Her mission lately? Expanding buffer zones, swallowing up any land that didn't bow down to her rules. Local ranchers said she'd already sunk 90 grand into a down payment for my property, non-refundable, through some slick land broker who vanished before the ink dried. By the time her lawyer realized she'd been conned, I already had the deed. Every I dotted, title clear, recorded with the county. Karen lost the land, but with people like her, loss is never the end. It's just the start of round 2. The lawsuit landed with a thud, something about community integration rights. My lawyer read it and laughed so hard I thought he'd pull a muscle. The judge tossed it, scolded their attorney for wasting court time. I thought that'd be the end. But folks like Karen, they don't retreat, they just change weapons. The next day, a laminated note showed up in my mailbox. No address, just the HOA logo faint at the bottom, claiming my fence broke community visual cohesion standards. I'd have laughed, but it felt creepy. This wasn't their land, not an inch. Still, I filed a police report, kept my cameras rolling, figured maybe that'd be the end of it. Nope. Trash started showing up inside my gate. Bags, cones, even a contractor's van leaking oil on my gravel. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. They couldn't take my land in court, so they'd try to make living there hell. Problem is, I don't scare easy. I'd stared down cartel hackers and politicians who thought they were untouchable. Karen's little games? Amateur hour. I started logging everything. Times, dates, photos, upgraded the motion sensors, disguised cameras in my garage lights, every feed encrypted offsite. I wasn't spoiling for a fight, but I wasn't going to get caught flat-footed either. That look in Karen's eyes, I knew she'd be back, and next time, it wouldn't be subtle. A white Ford truck with the HOA logo started parking across my gate every other morning. Guy inside, sipping coffee, trying to look casual. Never crossed the line. Then trash again, loose debris, flyers, a broken rake head, all in the same spot. I caught them on a trail cam. HOA windbreaker, 2 in the morning, flinging junk. Took it to the sheriff, logo clear as day, but without a face, they shrugged. Civil matter. Out here, HOA money talks louder than facts. Did that stop me? Not a chance. Next came a zip-tied notice on my gate from their code compliance committee, claiming my fence violated height regs. They had no authority, not even close. I shredded the notice, added more cameras. But what really got my skin crawling was the package. Unmarked envelope, no stamp, just my name. Inside, a USB drive. I know better than to plug strange tech into my systems, so I used a sandbox laptop, isolated, and ran it. What I found made me sit back. Screenshots from the HOA's internal portal, emails, meeting notes, and a thread called Target Hunt. Karen herself was talking about passive containment, calling me a future liability, and listing off my garage activity. Mixed in were replies from someone signed SH, sarcastic, almost mocking. That's when it hit me. Someone on the inside was leaking this to me. Last image was a phone shot of Karen in a boardroom, whiteboard map behind her, my land marked reclamation zone. The note said, "They'll escalate. Prepare. SH." I doubled the garage security, added thermal sensors, rerouted uplinks, and coded new logins. Let them escalate. For now, I had a ghost in their machine. But I didn't leave the property overnight. Gut feeling, or maybe just old cop nerves. Life's never simple, though. Had to drive to San Antonio for a contract showcase, a new drone module, big defense client, needed me in person. Locked everything down, took my wife and kid, double-checked every alarm. My best gear stayed put, 14 drones, server racks, AI modules, well over $100,000 of tech. I activated the silent security, hidden cameras, motion sensors, all feeds piped to the cloud. Halfway through our first night away, my phone buzzed, a red channel alert, reserved for power loss or perimeter breach. Next, main power down, then movement in the garage. I sent my wife and kid to the hotel pool, opened the app, waited for the feed. 3 men, beige jackets, HOA logos, inside my garage. Bolt cutters, a clipboard, loading my gear into a white utility van. That van had the same decal as Karen's Range Rover. I called the sheriff, gave live access, plates, faces, everything. By the time I got home, sun just rising, deputies were inside cataloging the mess. The van intercepted a county over, every item recovered, crooks inside. 2 contractors, and Randall Easton, the HOA's vice president. They claimed they were reclaiming HOA assets, that my property belonged to them. Even the cops couldn't keep a straight face. Walking into my garage that morning was like seeing a crime scene. The lock twisted, benches overturned, greasy footprints everywhere. But I'd planned for this, pulled the flash drive from a hidden vent, handed it to the deputy. Every angle, every voice, uploaded and backed up in 4 states. The officers were stunned. "We'll need a detective. This isn't just burglary." No kidding. Later, in the station, I watched Randall sweat bullets under the lights, telling the same story. Karen said it was HOA property, that intent made it theirs. The detective found chat logs on his tablet, Karen herself writing, "If we can't secure the property through compliance, we shift tactics. Just make sure no one gets caught. Not deleted, not hidden, right there in plain sight." That afternoon, another message from SH. This time, an HOA memo screenshot, talking about staging media spin in case of incident. The note, "She'll try to spin this, but she doesn't know what else I've got. SH." The wheels were turning fast. Headlines popped up. HOA recovery ends in felony arrests. Local blogs went wild. Karen's kamikaze committee gets caught creeping. People get bold when they think nobody's watching, but they get sloppy too. 3 days later, another stunt, an urgent infrastructure review notice with a fake seal, no agency listed. Font mismatches, QR code linking to a cooking blog. I laughed, right up until 6 men in beige jackets rolled up, bolt cutters in hand, trying to stage a fake inspection. They clipped my chain, stepped on my porch, started measuring and snapping photos. I let them. The moment they broke the chain, my silent alarms triggered, live feeds piped to the sheriff's office. Squad cars hit the driveway in minutes. Every guy on tape, faces clear, one with a script in his back pocket titled, "If the owner confronts you." Caught red-handed, trespassing, impersonation, the works. Next day, another SH drop, a screenshot of Karen's message board. "Push the limits, but no violence. If law enforcement shows up, call it a misunderstanding. We only need the footage to show he's unstable." SH's reply, "Already packed my popcorn." Karen tried to bait me, paint me as unstable. Didn't work. Instead, I had 6 men caught on tape, and no way for her to weasel out. Sheriff called me himself. "This is going to the DA. This isn't neighbor drama anymore. Racketeering's on the table." Suddenly, my quiet life was the centerpiece of a small-town legal war. Court dates, press, the whole circus. Evidence was overwhelming. Karen Langley, officially the ringleader, hadn't been arrested yet, but word was a sealed indictment was coming. And then, justice. Deputies rolled up to the HOA's office, walked Karen out in cuffs, mugshot online by sundown. Randall flipped, cut a plea deal, confessed to planning everything. Break-ins, staged recoveries, the works. Turns out the HOA had pulled this stunt before, targeting absentee owners, stripping valuables, flipping properties. Within days, more board members lawyered up, indictments for conspiracy. One guy even went underground. They wanted a televised trial. Karen was charged with conspiracy, incitement, abuse of position. I was the lead witness. They offered me protection, but I'd faced worse. In court, Karen's lawyer spun tales of rogue board members, claimed her records were doctored. Then came SH, the surprise witness. Simon Hale, former tech consultant for the HOA. I leaked everything. He told the court, dropping emails, voice notes, everything. Jury watched a clip, Karen saying, "If we can't remove him legally, remove the tools he's using. Nobody has to know." The verdict was a foregone conclusion. Guilty, 6 years for Karen, 3 for Randall. Others got probation and permanent bans. The HOA was dismantled, assets seized, damages paid out. $180,000 straight to me. That first night after sentencing, I walked the property. No headlights, no fake notices, just wind and peace. Month later, I installed a steel mailbox with a biometric lock, new sign, private security zone, live monitoring. Hi, Karen. Deliveries started rolling in, printer parts, drone rotors, even an AI board lost in customs. My son helped me repaint the drone bay, navy blue, looked like a spaceship hangar. He believed it, so did I. Simon moved to Nevada, new name, left me a dome camera labeled. If they ever come back, just upload. It's watching the garage now, piped to a server farm 5 states away. The other night, I found a new neighbor at my gate, young dad, holding cookies and a toy drone. "You the guy with the court thing?" he asked. I nodded. "HOA's gone. It's just us now. Want a race?" His kid held up the drone, grinning. I looked at the empty street, felt that old weight lift off my chest, and smiled. "Yeah, let's race. So, tell me, where do you stand on justice and neighborhood bullies? You ever tangled with an HOA, or had someone try to take what's yours? Drop your story below. Give this video a thumbs up if you're Team Freedom, and let's hear where you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe, because out here in the wild, the stories only get stranger, and sometimes, just sometimes, the good guys win.